everybody to this. This is my Kindle. I don't know how to start this video except for that today we're gonna talk about the Kindle, alright? We're gonna talk about everything regarding this thing. We're gonna talk about the perfect settings that make it easier for you to read. We're gonna talk about my settings. We're gonna talk about the fact that do you even need a Kindle? We're gonna talk a little bit about Kindle Unlimited as a subscription service and whether I think you need it or not. We're talking about the Kindle and everything that kind of is connected to it. So buckle up, get yourself something to drink, and let's start. First off, let's talk about my Kindle. I have the Kindle Paperwhite Generation 11 in the green color. Hold on, let me take off this because this is gross. Like, it's so old. It's kind of like, ew, right? But I love this pop socket, so we're living with it. It's in the green color. I think, is it agave green? I don't know. It's a green. I would say sage, but I don't think it was sage. Okay, I remember that because I've never heard of this color before. But it is apparently this color. Now, I got this. This is the 16 gigabytes, all right? Nobody in their right mind needs 16 gigabytes. If you get the 8 gigabytes Kindle, that's all you need, all right? It can hold up to 1,000 books with the 8 gigabytes. You don't need the bigger one. If you're like me and you want the green one, I understand, but the green one only comes with the 16 gigabytes, which again, you don't need. But it's nice to have. The most important thing when you get a Kindle, let me tell you this straight off the bat, get yourself some kind of screen protector. The first thing I did was throw this thing in my backpack and the screen scratched so bad. This screen, because it is the paper-like screen, has like a little bit of a rough texture and it's very, very easy to kind of destroy that. So first things first, if you get yourself a Kindle, get yourself a screen protector, and while you're at it, get yourself a clear case or any case, to be honest. Like, it doesn't matter. I need to get a new case because honestly, this is not the vibe anymore. And get yourself a pop socket. I personally have mine like on the lower, I would say lower third somewhere. This is just how I can hold it best. It works for me. Also, I just like to play with the pop socket while I read. Very helpful if you're like a little bit anxious, if you like to move your fingers while you do something, just play with it. It's perfect. It's also the reason why I don't have these straps. There are straps, I'm gonna like insert pictures for you, right? There are straps for the Kindle, and I think in concept that sounds great, but I just love to play with this thing all the time while I read, and it makes it easier for my brain to read. So we have a pop socket on. Now let's get into the actual settings of my Kindle, because as you will see, my Kindle displays the book that I'm currently reading on the screen. If you got the Kindle with the ads, there is a way to get rid of them, okay? I don't know if they do it for free anymore because recently I read that they just stopped doing that. Before that, you could just text the support. You would go through the settings of your Kindle on your Amazon account, and you would just text them and be like, hey, please remove these ads, they're bothering me, they're horrible, I don't want them anymore. And sometimes if you were lucky, they would just take them off for you. You can, of course, also pay, I think it's $20, and they will remove the ads, which honestly, worth it. I didn't enjoy the ads, mostly because I live in Germany, but I read in English. So all the ads on my Kindle were German books, and I was like, never gonna read them. Ever. But let me talk about the settings of my Kindle. On your Kindle, you have two tabs. You have the home tab and you have the library tab. Home is where you can search for new books. It just gives you more books to read. And then your library is where you can kind of customize your own things that you want. You can search for certain things. I personally always have it set to unread at books. That way I don't have PDFs of things, because sometimes I do have PDFs. Sometimes I just demos of a book or the first chapter to see if I like it. I have those filtered out because they bother me. Where did the sun go? It was just here. We're moving on without the sun. Sometimes I just have it set to unread books because, let's be honest, I don't need to see all the books I've already read because there's a lot. If you open up a book, it's pretty easy. What I would say is the most important feature to turn on your Kindle is the time. You need the time at the top of your screen. If you don't have it, you're gonna open up your phone randomly and you're gonna be like, I'm on my phone right now. And then you get distracted by notifications that are on there. You just don't want it. Alright, you just don't want it. So, do me a favor and go into your settings. You go into the A's, like the letters, right? And then you go into more settings, and this is where you turn on your clock. You say, show clock while reading, because let's be honest, if it's not there, you're gonna be distracted by looking on your phone for the time. I get distracted, so I have the time on my Kindle. It works perfectly well. It works super fine. My personal preference of what is on the bottom of the page is, by the way, you can also see this here, is the time left in a book. The Kindle will learn how long it takes for you to read each page and will then calculate how long it takes for you to finish the entire book. I don't know why they would say like time left in chapter, but that is mostly because I usually read like a book a day, and therefore that is not something that I want to know. Like, I don't care if it takes me 2 minutes to finish this chapter, right? It doesn't matter. But something that's pretty nice is if you tap the bottom corner, like where it says 3 hours and 29 minutes left in the book, if you tap that, it just changes, right? Whatever your preference is, you can have it at the bottom. I also like that it says percentage in the bottom. You can always change that. Now, if we're already talking about settings on the Kindle, my favorite font is the Bookerly font. Now, there are different fonts. So even if you struggle with like dyslexia or something, they have a specific font for that, which makes the letters like bottom heavy. So that way they don't twist in your head and you don't get like mismatched letters. It's fun. It's not for me. I personally like the Bookerly font a lot. I think it's great. So that's what I use. You could also make the letters more bold, depending on your own preference. I personally don't like that. I also don't like the letters being big. I don't like the font to be too big. I read like font size 3, which I realize is probably the same font size that is in my books right now, alright? It's small enough that I don't have only like 6 words on a page. I don't like that. I'm losing my cardigan. Anyway, but those are my personal preferences. You could technically also have like the horizontal Kindle. I don't like that. I really, really don't. But you could. If that is up to your preferences, you can do that. Talking about warmth and brightness, I usually change my brightness all the time. But usually I work with brightness level 8. I don't know if that's helpful to you, but that is what I do. I always have my Bluetooth on. I don't know why, but I do. But let's talk about the most underrated feature of the Kindle, which is flight mode. If you're thinking, Vivian, what are you talking about? Flight mode is incredible. If you have a book that you've borrowed, let's say you've had Kindle Unlimited, you've canceled your subscription, but you still want to read the books, go into flight mode. And the books won't be taken out. Same with if you borrow books from Libby and you don't want to return them, flight mode. Sure, if you're in flight mode, you can't actually get new books in, but if you still want to read the books that you already have, flight mode is a great option for you. I personally don't really use that because I've never canceled my Kindle Unlimited subscription, even though I've said I would do it multiple times. I just use it too much. And since we're already talking about my Kindle Unlimited subscription, let's talk about what Kindle Unlimited actually is. But it is a subscription that you can borrow books from, right? It's like a library, but online, so you can get up to 20 books, and then you can like, if you return a book, you can get a new one. There is no limit on how many books you can get each month. You can give the books back at any time. You can get them. The maximum number of books is 20, but again, just return one, get a new one if one is not up to your speed and up to your taste. Do you need Kindle Unlimited? This is the important bit. There are a few things to note before you get yourself Kindle Unlimited, whether or not it's worth it. If you're getting a brand new Kindle, you automatically get 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for free, so just take that, use it up, and have fun with it, I would say. Or usually they also have like a free month, like a trial month. Use that and see whether you like it or not. The most important thing is if you read classics, for example, or if you read nonfiction, Kindle Unlimited is not for you. I'm just gonna say it straight up. And if you don't like romance, honestly, it's also not for you. I would say the most prominent books on there are romance, like romantasy, some thrillers, but not too many. Just like the Frida McFadden books are on there, right? So you have a few fantasy books, you have a lot of romance, and all these subgenres, like cowboy romance, dark romance, small town romance, they're all on there, and there's great books. Like, I made an entire video on Kindle Unlimited recommendations. I'm gonna link it for you, just because it's fun, okay? But let's take a step back. If you read romance, and you read a lot of romance, this is for you. Now, Let's do the math in our heads. Depending on where you live, Kindle Unlimited is probably about 13 bucks. That is equivalent to 1 or 2 paperback romances, I would say. That's like how I do my math, okay? I do my maths in paperback romances. If you read about 2-3 romances a month and one of them is like a physical book and you're just like, maybe I need this sometimes, I just have this Kindle if I want to go on vacation to take the books, don't get Kindle Unlimited. It's not worth it for you. The price does not equal it. There are so many great ways, like Stuff Your Kindle Days, where you can get free books, or you can get like books that are currently on sale for like $1 or something. Get those books. However, if you read, I would say 3 or more books a month on your Kindle and you love to read romance, try it out. Try it out if it's worth it for you. This is a personal choice, honestly. And just be aware that most of the books on Kindle Unlimited are just romances. And that's fine. I personally love this. I read about 10 to 15 Kindle Unlimited romances a month, which I realize is a lot. I'm not saying that I'm not addicted, okay? I have a problem. I just love it. I really do. Now, let me just tell you a few more things about my Kindle. One of the best things to do, by the way, is to decorate it. That's like one of my fun things. I am very attached to my stickers though. Like, I have attachment issues. So just pro tip from me, a fellow Kindle user with attachments to stickers, just get yourself some tape and roll it up like such. And then you can just stick the sticker on there without actually sticking the sticker on there. Because if you just lay them flat, they're gonna move. Because if you have the pop socket on there and you pull on the pop socket, you take the tension out of the case and that way the stickers will move. So just get yourself some tape, put your stickers in there, and you're good to go. You can exchange the stickers however you want. You can make it your own. There are tutorials online on how to change your Kindle wallpaper. I don't personally like that. I like seeing what I'm currently reading. It reminds me of what I'm actually reading because I usually forget because it changes every single day. So I don't like that very much. Now, one thing to look out, if you've just gotten your Kindle and you're like, but the books are also expensive, because let's be honest, sometimes ebooks are expensive. Keep your eyes open. Alright, just keep your eyes open, go through the Kindle store, maybe put the filter on and be like, everything under $5. Filter through, you're gonna find some great books that are really, really cheap. And if you have favorite authors, go follow them. They usually put it like in their bio or in their stories when their books are on sale on Kindle for like $1. It's super fun and it actually saves you a lot of money. Not for me, because I also like to buy the books as trophies afterwards. But in theory, this thing should save you money. Now let's talk about if you actually need a Kindle. Because let's be honest, you don't need a Kindle, okay? You could get any type of e-reader. This is not specifically about getting the Kindle because it's better than any other. I've never had another e-reader. I've had the first Kindle Paperwhite when it came out years ago, and then that one was so slow that 1.5 years ago I got a new one, and I am using this thing every single day, okay? I think I have a reading streak of over a year at this point. It's a lot. I read a lot on this thing. It gets used every single day. And even though I'm usually like a book in paper form girly, I thought I would never be a Kindle reader. But I am, because it's just so convenient. You can put it in your pocket, you can always take it with you. It's just one of the best investments I've ever made. I would say to wait and buy it on like Prime Day, but they're not doing a good job of putting this thing on sale, alright? They're just really, really not doing it. This month, I think the Kindle was down by like $5. So no. If you want it, get it. And again, you don't need the big storage. It's unnecessary. You will never fill up the small storage, and if you do, you can delete books you've already read. The sun is gone again. What's going on with the weather? I mean, the sun is gone, and we might as well just end the video here, because I've been talking about this thing a lot. I think you should get one. If you're thinking about it, maybe that's your sign, okay? Maybe that is your sign. If you've been thinking about getting it, do yourself a favor and do, because this was my favorite purchase of last year. And I adore it. Again, if you want Kindle Unlimited recommendations, I've got a video linked for you, and I will see you for the next video that I make. Bye everybody, and have an awesome day. And I'm going back to reading now. I've been talking way too long about reading and the Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, and I'm going back to my cowboy romance, because that's what I do. Where did the sun go? Right? I started this video and I was like, I'm gonna be so warm, I'm gonna be sweaty. It's pouring rain outside. I think I just heard thunder. Anyway, have an awesome day and goodbye!